Hey, Selma community. This is Dr. Avis Williams, proud superintendent for Selma City Schools. And I've got C-Dub, Courtney Washington, our amazing community engagement specialist here. And this is Talk Soup. So thank you all for joining us. And we are super excited to be able to share some updates and just to keep the community informed of what's happening with Team Selma. And today we're going to go through some frequently asked questions around COVID-19 and, just really try to shed some light on what's happening within our schools and within the district. And as always, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you've got some questions or, anything that you want to put in the chat box, then Courtney will also be monitoring the chat box so that we can try to answer those questions live. And to be sure, though, if we don't get your question answered during the course of this time, then we can also go back and make sure we get an answer for you later.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And one thing, I want to give a shout out to the coffee shop because I am going to be sipping on my amazing green smoothie as we do this.
So is it safe for me to do so as well?
Yes. And the coffee shop is one of our fantastic community partners and a local business. And when I tell you their food is amazing.
It is.
Their service and their friendliness and all of that is just incredible. And so we love the coffee shop. So thank you, coffee shop.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Smith, and your entire team.
Yep.
So, Doc, you ready to dive into it?
I am.
Okay. So, school started this week, and shout out to our team, our teachers, our scholars. It has been amazing to be able to connect with them and to be able to see that joy. And of course, that includes our Saints Virtual Academy. It's rocking and rolling. Shout out to Ms. Rowden and her team of teachers as well as scholars. Why is there not a virtual option for our K-5 scholars?
Yeah, and that's been a really popular question. And honestly, it surprised me at first because I do know that when we were virtual during last school year, we did get a lot of complaints. Now, let's just be clear. The reason it was easier, and I'm using air quotes because it wasn't easy, but easier. Right. For us to begin with the upper grades is because even pre-pandemic, we were already planning to have a virtual school for our upper grades. So we already had a framework in mind for that, and to make that pivot to a virtual learning platform for the secondary was something that we already had planned. Now, at this time, we are researching and looking at having a similar platform for our elementary scholars. And more information will be shared about that as we move forward, because parents, we do hear you and we certainly understand your concerns. And I've said before that as many complaints as we did receive about virtual learning, we also know that it was a good fit for some families. And then also in light of the pandemic, some families wanted or needed for safety reasons. So we are in the process of taking a close look and looking at various vendors and platforms for adding K-5, kindergarten through fifth grade, to our virtual learning platform.
Definitely. So thank you for that. That has been a question, and thank you for answering that for me. So, we know that we're still in the midst of the pandemic, and we are now enthralled in the variants of COVID-19, and everybody is concerned, and we're still being dope, but the question of concern is, are our schools safe? Can you talk to us just a little bit about that and what Team Selma is doing to mitigate the spread of COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're making every effort to make sure that our schools are safe. And, we still have our mask mandate. And so anybody who enters our buildings, they have to be masked up. And that includes our teachers, leaders, our scholars, visitors, vendors, anyone who comes in, they have to be masked up. But we need your help because we can control to some extent, what happens within our schools and offices, but we cannot control the community.
Right.
And so, our being Bullying Dope campaign, doing our part every day, is something that's ongoing. And we just want to encourage the entire community to make sure that we continue doing our part every day, which includes, wearing masks, washing hands frequently, staying home if you're sick, and then also getting vaccinated. And I know we're going to share vaccination information during the process of this episode also. And all of our buildings are being cleaned frequently, and we've got the sanitation stations, we've got the isolation rooms doing temperature checks. So our buildings are as safe as we can make them. And we just need to make sure that those same precautions are being taken in the community.
Most definitely. I applaud the work of our teams at each of the school buildings, because if you don't have a scholar that you're dropping off, you won't see the work that's being done before they even enter the building. Even for you and I, we have to scan our temperature at each school building, and we're keeping an account of who's coming in. So sometimes I'm having to circle back just to even say that I have been in the building. So we're doing everything that we can possibly do. We do just need the support of our community. That Doc mentioned that about the mask mandate, but that information is on our website, and we've shared it on social media. So if you're interested in staying up to date with it or reading it, please visit our website to view it. Now, what happens if there is a positive case at school?
Right. And that's a great question. Yeah, because, it's going to happen. It has happened, and we keep our dashboard updated if you're interested in seeing the number of cases that we've had. But what happens if a child or anyone else tests positive? Close contacts will be identified. And a close contact is defined as someone who was 3 to 6 feet of a person who tests positive for 15 minutes or longer. So anyone who fits that description that we can identify will be notified if someone tests positive. And this will be a letter that will contain information on self-isolation, information on testing. Now, if you're vaccinated, if you're fully vaccinated, you will not need to isolate or quarantine unless you have symptoms. So as long as you remain asymptomatic, if you're vaccinated, then you can continue going to school or going to work. But I do encourage you to check out our COVID-19 dashboard, because I hear some false claims about, cases not being reported. Well, COVID-19 is a communicable disease, and we are required to report it, just like we're required to report whooping cough or any other communicable disease. So be assured that any positive case is going to be reported, and it's also going to be on our dashboard.
Thank you. And again, that is on our website. That's www.selmacityschools.org. It's easy to navigate. It's directly on a header on our website. So it's not embedded anywhere. You don't have to do multiple clicks. It's just right there on that home page. Will I be notified? Or you covered that as well. So if the school took the proper precautions, Doc, why is it still happening?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And that goes back to what I just said. We can take all of the precautions that we want to, but at the end of the day, if things are still happening at home or in the community, which they are, still happening at home and in the community, then, that's beyond our control. We can make all of these precautions and make sure they're all in place. And all we can do is just urge everyone to do their part outside of school. Yes. And I really do believe that if we do that, it is going to help slow the spread. And it will help make our schools safer and healthier, as well as our homes and community safer and healthier.
Definitely. And, why can't you just close the schools like last year?
So last year, one thing that was different from this year and last year, the governor did have a very broad state of emergency that included schools. And really it was a mandatory shutdown on March of last year, March 13th of 2020. The state of emergency informed us that we had to close schools. And that state of emergency was updated frequently, and it changed over the course of time, but it ended in July. And The governor did produce a limited state of emergency that covered mostly healthcare and did not impact schools. And so we closed last year because we were ordered through that emergency order from the governor's office. Now, this year, schools are locally ran, for lack of a better way to put it. And so it means local decisions can be made to change how we deliver instruction, to change our mode of instruction. And what that means is to change if we needed to go from in-person learning to virtual learning, then that is something that schools are able to make that decision on. But we're not shut down because we don't have an emergency order that's ordering us to do so this year. But we will continue to monitor the data and definitely make the necessary steps if we need to change our mode of instruction.
Gotcha. So now at what point could all schools close?
Yeah, and that's a great question. Again, there's no state of emergency right now that's going to inform that. Now, next week, we are going to have our friendly epidemiologist, Alicia Harley, on, and she's going to talk to us more about data points and, what concerns we need to have in terms of in-person activities and in-person school. Because as we're planning the rest of the school year, we are planning what it would look like if we have to change our mode of instruction from in-person learning to virtual learning, because there's a chance that we may have to do that. Right now, I do think that our schools are doing a great job in terms of safety, but we don't know what the Delta variant is going to do and the new variant that's coming out. I personally don't know much about it at all yet. And so, there is a chance that we could change our mode of instruction to virtual. But for right now, we're just going to continue monitoring the data, and we will remain with in-person learning for right now.
Thank you, Doc. And I'm checking the comments now just to see if we have any questions here. So if you are tuning in on Facebook, if you have a question, you can leave it there. We'll be on for a few more minutes and we could possibly address that for you. So what's up next?
Well, I don't know if you remember this, Courtney, because it's been a minute since the pandemic when we used to do this session or this section of our Talk Soup where we called it the Street Committee Said What?
What did they say?
Yeah, so I want to just address the fact that there are so many rumors flying right now. Right. And Courtney, you did a great job on the robocall yesterday. And I know many of our families probably received that, where we're just asking, please stop spreading rumors. There weren't 10 cases at the high school and no teacher told anyone that. There wasn't, was it 30 cases at Payne? And, we are required by law to report these cases because, as I mentioned before, it's a communicable disease. And, we value our scholars' safety and health and our team members' safety and health. And none of us are looking to get our licenses impacted by not following guidelines that the state requires. And from that standpoint, COVID-19, again, is just like any other communicable disease that our nurses are required to report, our administrators are required to report, and our district is required to report. And so in no way are we hiding information and not reporting information about the number of cases that we're getting. If you want to see our cases, check our dashboard because it's updated regularly, and that's where you can find the actual information. Now, if someone tests positive and they don't tell us, that we don't have any kind of way to teleport that information to us, we have to report what's reported to us, and we do ask that if you test positive, please let us know so that we can report it properly. But we do need people to stop spreading rumors. This pandemic is stressful enough and concerning enough. And there are plenty of other games that you can play on Facebook, okay, without having to do and say things that are getting people alarmed and inciting fear and stress. This pandemic is tough enough with all that we're having to grapple with without rumors and lies being infused into the mix. So
definitely. And, you know, again, and we've said it often and we'll continue to say it, that the best information will be from Selma City Schools, either your scholar school or directly from us via our website or social media. So if you're ever searching for answers or need a question, there is a link on our website that says Community Voice. You can send it. I get the emails. And so if you have a question or a concern as a community member, reach out. You can reach out to our schools as well, just to inquire and then to offer your support. So, you know, we still have that adopt a school there, but that does include individuals if we do need that support, and we can work it out to where that is virtual. If you are, you know, still leery about getting out and in it amongst the public, but there are several ways to connect with us as well as to receive that information. And I also want to encourage everyone to continue to use that avenue, us, to receive the most up-to-date and correct information.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, we appreciate the support that we've received. And, you know, Courtney does an amazing job of updating our social media outlets and share that information. You know, when whether it's a positive story about some of our amazing scholars, or if it's some information about vaccination clinics, share that information because we're pushing out that information all of the time to make sure that people are aware of where you can get tested and where you can get a vaccine, and any other updated information that's happening that that's beneficial for the community with regards to our schools. Definitely.
And on that end, I do want to let everyone know that Vaughn is actually having a vaccination clinic today, right now, actually between 10 and 11 at Vaughn. So if you're tuned in and if you want to go down, please, 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 that's you doing your part. And there are several other vaccinations happening over the next week. I know there's one this Saturday at wrote it down, but didn't have the address. I'll be sure to post that shortly for you guys, but that's happening Saturday. Then there's another mass vaccination clinic happening next Tuesday. And then again, Vaughn is offering weekly vaccinations between 10 and 11 on Thursdays. And so there are multiple places that you can go to receive the vaccination, 12 and up. And we do have a comment about, you know, testing. We, during the pandemic, we were partnering with our local health agencies to ensure that we had drive-through testing. And then we're going to continue to do that. And one as early as tomorrow will be happening. And so we can't require testing, correct, Doc?
Right. We can't require testing or the vaccine, and we're not requiring it, but we're strongly encouraging both.
Yes. And so anything else that you wanted to share before we get into our announcements and shout outs?
Just that all of the questions that we addressed today are on an FAQ doc that you will be able to find on our social media outlets as well as our website. And we will continue to update it. You know, as you have additional questions that we can answer, we'll definitely continue to update it.
Definitely. So I just wanted to go on to our shout outs, if that's okay. Again, we're still so thankful for all of our community partners, be it an individual or be it a church or an entire organization. Thank you. Your support is appreciated and it's needed. So you've already shouted out the coffee shop, but I also want to shout out Lewis Brother Funeral Home for providing lunch yesterday to our team at School of Discovery. Also, we had Attorney Billy Young and Attorney Donovan McGuire, Acoustic Media, and I think I'm leaving one other person out, but please, you guys do not charge it to me, but intentionally letting you dropping your name off. But thank you for lunch for Edgewood on, was it Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, it was Monday. That was Monday, the first day of school. What a great way to start the school year, right?
Definitely. So again, thank you, you guys, for your support. And if anyone out there wants to continue to help provide support for our teachers in the form of lunch, let us know. Reach out to me. Again, I'm Courtney Washington, your community engagement specialist. You can reach me through the Community Voice page on our website, or you can just email me directly. It's courtney.washington@selmacityschools.org if you would like to support our schools. And
hey, one more though, Courtney, remember last week when our School of Discovery team was moving into the Knox building? Yes. Domino's with their new fancy car supported them with lunch, and it was for our team at School of Discovery as well as our maintenance folks who were working very hard to get the move done, and they did a remarkable job of doing so. So shout out to James Steele, my fellow Rotarian, and Domino's Pizza for providing lunch last week.
Yeah, look out now.
Look out now.
So yeah, we do have our sports is starting up. So our first game, it's away. It's tomorrow with our Saints. So shout out to our Saints. They're playing Stanhope, but our next game will be home against Southside. So we are ready for some Friday Night Lights, and our other schedules will be shared soon across our social media and as well as on our Facebook website. So please visit that so you can still support our scholars.
Awesome sauce. I think that's a wrap. We always want to end with our theme, and I'm wearing my shirt today, C-Dub.
Oh, gotcha.
So our theme, Team Selma's theme is one team, one voice, committed to excellence. And we are so grateful that you are a part of our team. Thank you so much for your continued support. And again, if you've got any questions or anything that we can do to help you, please just let us know. You'll get more information soon about our episode coming up next week with our epidemiologist, Alicia Harley, because I'm really interested to learn more about COVID-19 and especially the newer variant that has been identified. So that will be a COVID-19 update that we will do next week. I believe Wednesday, but we will confirm that. Yes. But until then, you guys, please stay safe, be dope, keep doing our part every day, and we will see you soon.
See you soon, Selma. Bye-bye.